Now you're probably reading that title and you're wondering, how can this apply to my fitness journey? Well, to answer that question is how you can change your mindset and how you perceive your fitness journey when things get hard, all right? And so, and what I mean by this is like, especially like life gets in the way, right? Life gets tough, life gets hard, adversity comes, setbacks, roadblocks, you name it, right? You get everything. So for me, a year ago, I totaled my car. And you probably can imagine how stressful that was, right? You know, if you ever had got in a car accident, you ever had to go through, a whole process of getting a car, right? A new vehicle, it's a bitch, right? So for me at the time, I was driving home. I was driving from a client's house, going to the gym to train more clients. And as I was going there, I rear-ended someone. Of course, it's my fault. I'll take full responsibility of that. But I totaled my car, right? Completely total and things like that. And I was probably about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from the destination I needed to be. So when I was doing so, I was making sure the person was okay. I was making sure, everything else is taken care of, wait for the cops to come and all those good jazz, right? Well, in the meantime, I had to figure out how I was gonna get back to work because unfortunately I had to cancel on one of my clients for the reason I had to deal with the accident. And so at the time, I called my ex to see if she could pick me up. Thankfully, she picked me up at the time. And so I was able to get back to work. So I trained my client, and my client was surprised that I was able to still show up for work despite me getting an accident. And she was wondering why I just didn't take the day off. To be honest, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like me taking a day off, me sitting there moping or, saying all these what ifs wasn't going to change the fact that my car was not going to, was not totaled and things like that, right? So I was like, the only way that gets my mind off and the only way that, makes me happy was just working, training clients and stuff like that. So that's what I did. And, I trained my clients and I just dealt with the insurance later that day. So fast forward, I get the rental. Of course, the rental lasts me a whole month as the policy goes to the insurance until it doesn't, right? And now I'm at the point where it's like, well, insurance are always taking their sweet time just like they always do. So I'm in means to the end of like, how am I supposed to get it work? Thankfully, I was grateful to have a boy that lived close to my work where he let me crash on his couch. And from May all the way to mid-June, I just walked to work. I would have to wake up a little bit earlier and I had to, take a little bit more time to, about 10, 15 more minutes to walk to work. But that's what I did. So I would show up for my clients. Now I even show up for myself when I was working out and things like that, right? Or, going to my work. So what's the moral of the story? Well, there's 2 points. Number one is when life gets hard, you guys let stress or adversity take control of your life. You guys play the victim, you guys look for sympathy, and you guys blame everything or anything other but than yourselves. So when it comes to that point, like you guys all just let stress and adversity take over your life when things get hard. And for you to overcome that is you got to take back control of your life, right? And that's point number 2 is owning your life when things get hard. Is you got a choice. You got a choice of, making ends meet, doing what you need to do when shit gets tough, when things don't go your way or when you're limited to certain resources that you just don't have available to you or access. Or you can just sit and mope around, right? You sit, mope, cry about, blame other things other than yourself, not find solutions, not figure out what you need to do, how to stay on track, or any of those jazz, right? So at the end of the day, like you got 2 choices. You got a choice to suck it up, or you got a choice to pound about it. That's all it is, really. And so when life, and granted, yes, life gets in the way so many times, right? Life is never gonna be perfect. Life is never gonna go easy. Stress comes a long time, right? A lot of people let stress take over control of their life, whether it's the work, relationships, anything, right? Just any type of stress that takes over your life. And so what you do about it? Well, you figure out how you can own up to it, how you can find a solution to that problem, and how you can deal with it in the hard times. Because at the end of it, those hard times are gonna make you a better individual. Those hard times are gonna make easy times worth more while and things like that. So when you do these hard times, you can learn how to navigate, you can learn how to process things, and you can learn how to stay on track when you're limited to resources and access to what you need to do. So at the end of the day, guys, like for me, sold my car, that's what I did. You know, I figured out the solutions. I figured out what I need to do. I figured out what resources and access I had to get to work, make sure I still stay on track through my health, make sure I was getting my workouts in, you know, A, B, and C, right? And that's what you need to do for yourselves when life gets away, especially in your fitness journey. Like, there's so many times I see so many people let stress or adversity take control of their life. And at the end of the day, you gotta take control back on this, you know, take back your life. Take back control of what you need to do, right? Especially when you're not happy what you see in the mirror, if you're not happy, those clothes not fitting well, if you're not happy with someone around the corner and you're not feeling confident that you can take your shirt off or you can wear that swimsuit, then something's gotta change. And that change comes from you taking back your life. You control those things, what you can control. Again, sometimes you can't control stress. Sometimes you can't control the adversities that come into you. But what you can control is how you can take back your life. You can control maybe figuring out how to get a ride to the gym, maybe figure out how to stay on track with your nutrition, you know, A, B, and C, X, Y, and Z, right? Figure out those things, what you need to do to stay back on track and take over control. So at the end of the day, guys, when life gets hard, you just gotta deal with it. Again, you got two choices. You can go the gray route, or you can go the pounding route. That's your choice, and that's your call. But at the end of the day, if you want something bigger and you want your future self to thank you in the long run, those are the choices you gotta make, all right? So this is a quick video, but something that actually just kind of popped up, something I kind of want to share with you about, because again, life is not easy. Like I said, life is not easy, life gets tough, but you gotta figure out how to navigate, how to get pushed through it, you know, find that deeper meaning and that deeper level of how to take back your life, right? At the end of the day, no one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself. It always has been, and it will always be saving yourself, all right? So when you're trying to focus on what you need to do, or you're trying to play this victim, no one's gonna come to save you. Like I said, if you're looking for sympathy, no one's coming to save you on that. If you're trying to play the victim, no one's gonna come to save you on that. If you're trying to blame everybody but yourself, no one's gonna come save you on that either. So at the end of the day, you guys save yourself. No one else is coming. You can have the guide, you can have the support to get you where you need to be, but if you're not true to yourself, no one's gonna believe in you, and no one's gonna believe in where you're trying to go, especially in your fitness journey, right? Look, you only get one life, you only get one shot at this, right? And it's like, it's a crazy thing, because like with a car, you can always replace a car. You can replace a part, you can replace the entire body of the car, you can replace any sort of thing inside a car, right? But with the body, there's some things you just can't replace, right? Like there's some things you just don't know what's gonna happen. You might not make it through if you're gonna try to get replaced, right? So at the end of the day, really treat your body, really treat how you wanna put that body to use for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, however many years you got left into. Really want to understand how you can really make use out of your body, right? Do you want to be old and crippled, always complain, always nagging, things like that? Or do you want to be something that's energetic, that's always have, you know, high hopes, always like getting after things, right? Even playing with your kids, like even when you're 60 years old or whatever that case is, like that's the part you gotta really think about, is like, how do you want to perceive your body? You want to have your body be perceived as broken down, run down? Or do you want your body to be perceived as like, you know, like a high value, top tier body where people are like, damn, that person's done it. That person put in the work. That person is living the life that that person wants to live. And that's something you got to think about at the end of all. All right, guys. And that's something I just thought about, you know, going into and things. And it's something like, you know, it's always on my mind too. Because for me, it's like, I'm trying to figure out how I can keep my physique, how I can keep my body running, how I can make sure down the future that I'm able to stay on top with everybody else. Even when I'm 40, 50 years old, I'm playing with 20-year-olds, how can I keep up with them? Again, that's my mentality. That's the way I kind of perceive things, but it's something for you to think about, all right? As always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I hope you guys found some value in this. As always, make sure you guys like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.